Jonathan Lee Riches, aka JLR, Justice for Summerwells. I do want to start out by saying at this time, Hunter has not seen the grand jury. Hunter has not been subpoenaed or had to go in front of the grand jury. That I can confirm. Um, Through Hunter's family, he has not seen the grand jury yet. What does that all mean? Let's talk about grand juries because, it has my head spinning about grand juries. I'm sure a lot of you are wondering what's up with the grand jury? How does it function? What's its role? What is this grand jury? I do believe at one point Hunter will be in front of the grand jury. I do not believe Hunter will be in front of the grand jury as a defendant or a target, but a witness. Because grand jury has many subpoena powers and they like to bring in witnesses to share what they know. And we know that Hunter was centered around the day Summer went missing. I mean, Hunter was with Summer, Candace, and Grandma hours before Summer was reported missing. What happened in between the time, they picked up Hunter and all the way up to they dropped him off. All that time in between, the different places they went to, the grocery store, the tobacco, twisted teas, getting the prescriptions, the water hole, a lot of things. I think a lot of that has a lot to do with leading up to what happened this summer. But at this time, Hunter has not been subpoenaed or seen the grand jury. So the grand jury, let's talk about grand juries. I know a little bit about grand juries. So I know maybe YouTubers might, claim they know or claim by what they read, thinking they know a lot about the grand juries. I went in front of the grand jury numerous times in the past. We all know that I have a criminal past and I've been through that process before. I've been subpoenaed before as a target and a witness to the grand jury. So I do know a little bit about grand juries. I'm not a lawyer expert, but the grand jury is very complex. The grand jury functions numerous ways and it has numerous roles. Two things: investigated grand jury and one grand jury just to create a true bill. And what I mean by that is most of the time people get arrested for probable cause. The police have enough probable cause to arrest them. They go for their preliminary hearing, and then it goes to the grand jury, who just reveals the evidence based off the probable cause arrest. And within 30 days, they come down with a true bill, and the person gets indicted. But there's also another role of a grand jury. It's an investigated grand jury. So the person's not arrested, but a grand jury is impaneled. Grand jury is impaneled, and then the grand jury has the subpoena powers to investigate whether charges should be brought against a target, a subject. I think, in reference to this case, that's the way it's going to go with summerwells. Unless something unless Candace comes right out or Don comes out and makes some sort of confession, or a body is found, or an actual witness comes forward that's seen, something. I think this is going to go to a grand jury as far as an investigated grand jury. An investigated grand jury in Tennessee, they get impaneled for 18 months. There's no set time on when they meet. They can meet every day if they wanted to. They can meet once a week. And this grand jury most likely will probably start subpoenaing people around Don and Candace Wells, except Don and Candace Wells, because I would assume that they would be the targets, and usually the targets of a grand jury do not get subpoenaed because they don't want to get tipped off. But they do. I've been a target of grand jury one time, and they wanted my DNA, and they wanted my saliva, and they wanted handwriting analysis. And I fought through it, tried to quash the subpoena. Didn't happen, and eventually I had to submit. If I didn't, then this would, I would have got charged with a contempt of court. So you don't want to go that route by, defying a grand jury subpoena. In reference to Don and Candace Wells, I doubt that they will be I doubt that they will be subpoenaed, as them most likely are the targets of this investigation or target of something. But I do think that Hunter, Allie, neighbors of Don and Candace Wells, CPS, or DCF, Department of Children and Families in Tennessee, law enforcement. I do believe that maybe some church individuals, maybe Tim Mullen. I do believe that if a grand jury was impaneled, these individuals will most likely be subpoenaed, and then they would have to share what they know. So the grand jury is on a fact-finding fishing mission, right? So they gather all this testimony, and they have up to 18 months. And then, if and when, they decide to vote on a true bill, they'll vote. Sometimes grand juries can actually be extended past 18 months, believe it or not. I know federal grand juries, they always say 18 months, and when 18 months is over, that's it. It's over. Not necessarily a prosecutor can extend the grand jury. Not sure offhand if they can do that in Tennessee, but the grand jury can meet for up to 18 months. Hunter at this time has not been subpoenaed in front of the grand jury, and his family confirmed that. So I do think that Hunter will be subpoenaed down the line. I do believe his testimony will be important in this matter, not as a participant, but as a witness. So as far as the grand jury, in this case being high profile, you would assume that if a grand jury did get impaneled at this time, that would at least got leaked out, that a grand jury has been impaneled. We have not heard that. So I don't think at this time there is a grand jury out there. I don't think one got impaneled. You would think WJHL or the local media there would broadcast it out there. Hey, a grand jury is out there. A grand jury is investigating the summerwells case, but we have not heard that. And we haven't heard from any of the participants, the people centered around this case, whether it's coworkers of Don, the church people, Hunter's family, Hunter, anyone saying anything about subpoenas or them having to go testify or in front of a grand jury. We haven't heard none of that. So it makes me believe that as of right now, we're approaching 1 year since Summerwells went missing, that a grand jury has not been impaneled in this case. And, again, I just based off not having the body here, and it seems like Don and Candace Wells are not cooperating, I don't think they're going to arrest and then go to a grand jury for an indictment. I think a grand jury gets impaneled and then investigates the case and decides if charges are going to be brought up against Don and Candace Wells until a body is found. Until a body is found, I think that's the route. I honestly think, and this is my opinion, again, we're talking about this case. We're all speculating. We're not all legal experts. I do know a little bit about a grand jury, but I'm not an expert. But I do kind of have some insight about it. I'm sure some of you people out there, some of the subscribers, people watching this video are lawyers or legal in the legal field that kind of know what's role of a grand jury. So please comment and share and let me know, and let everyone know what's your thoughts on this. What's your thoughts on the grand jury? Will Candace and Don Wells be arrested first, then go in front of the grand jury? The case goes in front of the grand jury and then an indictment, or will a grand jury be impaneled and then they investigate? The grand jury uses their subpoena powers to investigate and come out, with an indictment down the line. Remember, when a grand jury gets impaneled, a prosecutor presents, the witnesses of the case, but it's only one-sided. It's only the prosecutor sharing, what's going on. The defense has no opportunity to be in front of that grand jury to mitigate or explain anything. It's just a one-sided show to get that true bill, to get that indictment. Grand juries, we've heard the slogan, grand juries will indict a ham sandwich, and that is literally true. That is literally true. The grand jury, like 99.9% of the time, come down with an indictment. They come down, whether it's an investigative grand jury or one that's already, if someone's already been arrested with probable cause from the police, it's rubber stamped. But an investigative grand jury still, they really indict 99% of the time. Literally, look at the stats. So you're most likely getting indicted. So is Dan Armstrong, the prosecutor with the Hawkins County, district attorney's office? He's the one that came out on the record and is overseeing this case. Is he going to pull the trigger and take it to the grand jury without a body? Without a body. I mean, and then that's a whole other argument, whether, people can be arrested and charged with a crime without the body, whether it's murder or whatnot, if they don't have the body. And yeah, you can if you put other pieces together and evidence, circumstantial evidence, nature and characteristics of an individual, past behaviors, what the individual's done afterward, when this crime was alleged to happen. I mean, there's a lot of factors that come into play, and I guess we're all on like grand jury watch. This is like, we always say in a court case, jury watch. What is the jury going to do in a case? Well, I'm on grand jury watch. I am watching and I'm monitoring all the participants in this case to find out if and when they see a grand jury. We're approaching 1 year, people. 1 year since Summerwells went missing. That is too long. But at this time, Hunter has not seen the grand jury. I just wanted to make that point. I think that is relevant because I do think down the line that Hunter will be in front of the grand jury via a subpoena. They just come to you with a subpoena. They serve you with a subpoena. I got served. They wanted all kinds of things from me, like I said, DNA, handwriting examples, because of records that I did back in 20 years ago when I was accused of fraud. It's a very crazy experience because it's terrifying, quite frankly, to get a subpoena from the grand jury. You don't know what to expect. You're calling around in the yellow pages looking for a lawyer. You're up all night wondering what this grand jury wants, what's going on, and stuff like that. So even and I was a target. I wasn't a witness. Witnesses even get a lot of anxiety. You're being forced to go into a court and share what you know. Of course, you can invoke your Fifth Amendment rights, but as a witness, why would you invoke your Fifth Amendment rights if you were just a witness and you're not the target? And they let you know. They let you know when you get notified that you have to go in front of a grand jury. You're known that they let you know whether you're the target of the investigation or just a witness. I guess they let you know you're a witness because they want you a little bit at ease because you got really nothing to worry about. Though sometimes people are witnesses and then they testify and then become the target. That does happen too, believe it or not. That does happen where you go in and at first the grand jury is just assuming you're a witness. You tell them something, then you turn into the target of the investigation. And then down the line you get charged. But I don't think anyone beyond, Candace and Don and Grandma will be charged with anything. If anyone is going to get charged, it will be one of the three, all three, two of the three, somebody in that web of wells that will get charged, whatever like that. So I'm just giving my thoughts on the grand jury. Still monitoring this case. There's not much going on right now. There's the anniversary coming up. I heard a lot of people are going to be participating in honoring and respecting Summerwells. I will be doing the same thing in my own way. I'm more of like just looking in and gathering what's going on with this case. There's a couple things I'm looking at here. I do send information that I gather to the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and Office of Ronnie Lawson and John Pruitt. Send them a lot of stuff. Lawson doesn't respond, but his other officers have responded to me and thanked me. So I appreciate that. We do back and support the law enforcement. I know they have a tough job. It's very remote out there. Technology was very bad out there. I just think, the terrain, very, very difficult. It's complex. If it was a different area and, different state, could have been resolution on this quicker, and every state has its own way to do justice. And sometimes justice goes slow and sometimes justice goes fast. In this case right now, it seems like it's going slow, but we will, remain hopeful that this will be solved soon. So everyone have a great day and, like, share, and let me know your thoughts. Let me know your comments. Justice for Summerwells.